This legislation essentially gives one minister quite a bit of power, including the ability to amend conditions on projects. And I'm wondering who would that minister be, and why did you decide to make this a political decision?
Well, the decision, to be clear, the decision, you've read the legislation, I can tell, so it gives the authority to the Governor and Council, so the minister in consultation with the Prime Minister, to make those decisions. But those conditions are set out through a public process and a transparent process, and I'm going to repeat what I said earlier, including with Indigenous peoples. So you decide, there's a process, as you know, to decide what is a project of national interest. That's a rigorous process, publicly consulted and beyond. Then there are the conditions associated with those projects. The mechanism to formalize those conditions is made with the relevant minister, in this case the Minister of Intergovernmental Affairs, for obvious reasons, aside from his roguish good looks, but for obvious reasons, because c'est impossible de traduire, c'est impossible de répéter, ça c'est clair. But for obvious reasons, because that minister, whoever occupies that post, works closely with the provinces and territories. And these conditions are developed, obviously, in collaboration with them as well. So that's the mechanism by which this happens. So that's the mechanism to formally put those conditions into place, but the structure to develop those conditions is very robust and rigorous. Thank you.
And on India, the RCMP said just last year that the Modi government is orchestrating a campaign of violence and intimidation in Canada that includes murder. Why are you inviting him to the G7, and what message does this send about your seriousness or lack of it when it comes to stopping foreign interference?
So let's put the two aspects in context. First is we are in the role, Canada is in the role of the G7 chair, and in those discussions, as agreed with our G7 colleagues, include important discussions on energy security, on digital future, critical minerals, amongst others, and partnerships actually in building infrastructure in the emerging and developing world. There are certain countries that should be at the table for those discussions, and in my capacity as G7 chair, in consultation with others, some others, make those determinations. India, the 5th largest economy in the world, effectively the most populous country in the world, central to a number of those supply chains, at the heart of a number of those supply chains, so it makes sense. And in addition, bilaterally, we have now agreed, importantly, to continued law enforcement dialogue. So there's been some progress on that. It recognizes issues of accountability. I extended the invitation to Prime Minister Modi in that context, and he has accepted.